in Hilda's lounge with two very special women. We have Jinny Fisher and Rachael Clyne. Rachel's come all the way from Glastonbury, and Jinny has come from Ditcham. So I'm very, very honoured to have them in Hilda's lounge, one of the first guests. So
we're honoured to be here.
Oh, what do you think?
Oh, it takes me back, love.
Does it?
It takes me back to those good old hippie days.
Yeah.
70s. Well, yeah.
Do you write much about the 70s, Rachel?
I have written some things about the 70s,
Yeah.
yes. In fact, I've even referenced them in a couple of poems. So.
Yeah.
I don't... It's kind of giving it memories a fresh feel, really.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wrote a lot of stuff at the time. And...
in the 70s you wrote a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, but very kind of confessional rants.
So you've been writing poetry for quite a while then?
Yeah, but, you know, I haven't seriously
Yeah.
started developing it until the last 4 or 5 years, really.
Yeah. And what made you do that? What got you onto all this amazing world of
Well, I've
poetry?
always loved doing poetry.
Yeah.
Because I used to be an actor, I especially love performing it. So I've kind of loved reading with other people and performance groups that I've been in. But I was aware that my poetry needed some attention. So I did an online poetry course, and that really challenged me. And then really with 52, it's been a mega quantum leap.
Yeah,
Joe
52
Bell's.
was Joe Bell's project. You can Google 52 and you'll find Joe Bell's project, I would think. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a Facebook group.
It's a Facebook group, yeah.
But there were over 500 people in it. And I don't know, it was just this constant immersion in lots of different poetry. And we had a prompt a week. And
the prompt came with poems, didn't it? So it was a really good grounding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Were you in 52?
I was in 52.
You were in 52?
Yes.
That's how we met.
It's just I know I've known you in different ways. We met through Carrie, I think, Carrietta. And then the 52 thing happened. Lots of people were in 52.
It certainly moved my poetry along.
Yeah.
And
reading great poems is such
and also
it is
kind of
the
getting
only
feedback.
way really to get better. I think
It is, and it was also pitching in to help other people, and then they pitch in and help you, which which is also a feeling of community.
Yeah.
I think, which if you're coming at it as a bit of a newbie like I was, actually was really important for me.
Oh yeah.
Also being fairly new to the southwest. There are other people here. Okay.
Where
And
were
that's
you
how I
before
met
then?
London.
Oh right.
Until 2011. So actually just coming here and just thinking, okay, now's the time for poetry. Where is it?
Where's the poems?
No, I found it in Taunton, in a group called Junction 25, which is lovely. But then the 52 also helped, and that's how I met Rachel, because we live quite close to each other.
So we got involved in a writing group.
52?
Yes.
And become great friends.
Yeah, we go off. We've gone off in Jinny's camper van to poetry festivals.
Yeah, we've done that.
You live in the dream.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Jinny? When did you start writing?
Oh, I didn't start till 2007, and then there was a bit of a gap. I mean, I started writing after a friend of mine died, actually. I think a lot of people start to write after a sort of traumatic event.
Yeah.
But it was only when I started sort of editing that poem, and I thought, oh, this is interesting, and it kind of went beyond just a kind of grief outpouring, more to there's something else going on here. And so it went from there. And I was very lucky because I went on a course with two brilliant tutors the following year.
Who were they?
That was Matthew Hollis and Anthony Dunn. Amazing double act. And they were fantastic. And they were so kind, because when I look back now on the poems that I was producing for them, they could have been so rude. And they so weren't. Tough love. You know, the red pen came out.
We've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? And it's not about being real
that's
people.
right.
No.
Actually,
I think
rude to us, we wouldn't get anywhere.
Exactly.
I think it was Penelope Shuttle that was talking about how people generally start writing therapeutically, which is what we all do when there's somebody dies or whatever. Yeah. And she was saying that that's really good because it becomes meaningful, but it's the practice of writing. And I mean, with 52, you were writing every day. I got into the practice of either looking at poems or writing every day. But the online course I did was with Rachael Clyne, and it was really, really good, really good. And talking about, you were asking me about the 70s, and one of the things that I think 52 did, it made me dig back. It's made me dig back into the past, where I've got such a distance from it now. I'm not attached to it in the same way at all, which allows for more play.
It does. Play's quite important, isn't it?
Very.
Fantastic. So if I was to say, right, I'm going to lock you in Hilda's lounge for the rest of your life, and you're only allowed to bring 5 poems that you love with you, what would you bring?
Oh, God! I mean, I need notice of that
Hilda's
question.
lounge for the rest of your life. With tea and baby sham.
Well, there'd have to be...
Club biscuits.
The only one that first comes to mind is Prayer by Carol Ann.
Right.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Maybe a Seamus Heaney, like postscript. Possibly some T.S. Eliot, I think. I'll keep thinking.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I guess inevitably the ones that you start out with remain with you. So I guess my introduction to poetry was at school with Wilfred Owen, as it often is. I think maybe the teenage mind is particularly available for poems to do with violence and horror. That it gets right in there at a time when you're available for that sort of thing. So I guess Anthem for Doomed Youth would be a starting point.
Yeah. Maybe a really long poem, then you can just.
Well, that's why I said T.S. Eliot. I could have the full quartet.
Yes,
that would keep me going.
Yes, and Old John Donne.
Yes.
A few of those.
You'd take a few John Donne.
I would.
You?
I would. Yes. So I think that whole kind of metaphysical thing of the extended metaphor and all that. I love that. Yeah.
And something really wild and wacky at the same time.
Yes.
What was like?
Well, one of yours would do.
Oh,
Or a Tanya Hirschman.
Good old Tanya.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I read a 4-page poem last night to my students at New College. It was James Dickey's poem, Falling. I said, you're either going to love me forever for this poem, or you're going to hate me by the end. We each read little bits of it. It's fantastic. Shall we look at it? Read it out loud though if you're going to read it to yourself. I think you can, there's something about the sound of it, so engaging.
I mean, in terms of poetry, what I do find very difficult is traditional form. I really...
What, writing or reading?
Writing.
Writing, yeah.
I mean, I think there are some people... I tend to think of it like... I'm very much of a visual person and sort of an artist as well. I'm not so good at numbers, and to me it's like having to count things all the time, and that really shifts me into a part of my brain I don't want to be in. So I do find that very difficult, and I'm aware that some people absolutely love it. They see it a bit like Sudoku, that the whole thought of that is just not me.
No. Well, we've all got to write what we write.
Yeah.